Okay, moving on. Okay, let's do these. These are boxes of trioxane tablets. Basically, it's compressed fuel for our stoves. Let's open one up. They come in these little foil packs, and so you just cut this open, and this fuel tablet, you just touch a match to them and they light right up. So they're really great for cooking, and if you're ever in inclement weather, rain, snow, whatever, you can use this trioxane to help start a campfire if your wood happens to be wet or damp. So I got a whole bunch of these. They do expire, so keep note of when these expire. Next are these Mountain House number 10 can freeze-dried food. You're going to pay a little bit more for these compared to the other Mountain House items because they're in a number 10 can. So this is kind of like bulk food storage. These cans are sealed so well that I think their shelf life, minimum shelf life, is 30 years. So I bought these last year, and I took a Sharpie pen here. You can see it says expires in the year 2040. And they'll be good after that. You're just going to lose a little bit of the nutritional value. So I've got a couple of these. I got these two are here. One is beef stroganoff. One is chicken teriyaki with rice. And the menu that they have, the available menu, is pretty extensive. So I mean, check them out online. The menu's pretty good. The downside of these is once you crack the seal, the shelf life goes from 30 plus years to about 2 weeks. So if I open this up, I've got a whole bunch of servings of beef stroganoff. So be prepared to eat a lot of beef stroganoff if you open one of these up, or whatever food is inside. Okay, toilet paper, always a good comfort item. In lieu of toilet paper, if you do not have toilet paper, if you ever find yourself without toilet paper, you can always use a phone book, pages out of a regular book, or leaves if you have to. But I mean, it's a great comfort item to have. Again, dust mask, because after an earthquake, there's going to be a lot of toxic debris, a lot of dust in the air, and like I said in a previous video, several years ago, there was an earthquake on the central coast of California, somewhere around Monterey or Carmel or San Luis Obispo, somewhere in there, where an earthquake actually kicked up toxic spores. So a lot of people came down with some pretty bad respiratory illnesses because of the earthquake kicking up those toxins. Okay, this beat-up manual here is the USGS home manual for living in earthquake country. There's a lot of good info in here. I highly recommend picking this up. You can order it online, and it's free. They'll just mail it right out to you. A lot of good info in here. Okay, getting down to the little nuts and bolts. I threw a couple of Brita filters in here. Just in case I need to filter water. Yeah, I can boil water, and I do have tablets, but I like to have options. I like to have redundancies, so if I have to, I can use these Brita filters with my Brita pitcher of water and help purify water that way. It's always good to have redundancies in your kit. Got a bunch of canned food, canned vegetables, some comfort food, Chef Boyardee. And these, they have different expiration dates. What I like to do with these perishables, including batteries, is use an online calendar. And so whenever something's about to expire, I'll have it shoot me an email. And so I know, hey, I need to replace my Twinkies or my Chef Boyardee. So I'm always cycling through that. And if you are going to use canned food, be sure to pack a can opener. So in this little envelope here, I have a couple of little P51 can openers. Hope you can see that. The cool thing about these is there's a little loop in here, so you can, run some cord through there and put it on your keychain or around your neck.
Hi.
Okay, next I've got electrical tape and Gorilla brand duct tape. Multiple uses for these things here. I've got a little hacksaw. Now, it's not the best cutting tool. There's a lot of bigger, heavier duty cutting tools, but I sacrificed a little bit of capability for a little bit of weight. So I got a lightweight little cutting tool here, in case I ever have to cut through some debris or to help free somebody or something. At least I have something. It's lightweight, portable, and it'll get the job done. It might take a little longer, but it's there for me if I need it. Okay, I've got some butane gas for my lighters. Scissors in case I need to cut anything. Ideally, I would have something a little more heavy duty, but like I said earlier, being prepared for disaster, you're never fully prepared. There's always something more you can do. Including this case, I need to get heavier duty shears. Last thing I want to show you here is a little pry bar I have. Again, like the little hacksaw, there are bigger tools, heavier dutier tools, but this thing is lightweight and portable. I can throw this in my pack and move around if I need to. Yeah, basically I'd use this to clear out debris or help demo something if I need to demo something to get my get somebody out that's trapped or retrieve some supplies that are trapped underneath a bunch of debris. I've got at least something that I can use in this kit. And like I was saying earlier, like I just said, you're never fully prepared. I mean, especially as techniques and technology evolve and improve. So I mean, in this kit I showed you, it may seem pretty complex and complete, but some areas I need to improve on are my power sources. If you saw my batteries, they're all just regular alkaline batteries. Ideally, I would have lithium batteries, which are quite a bit more expensive compared to regular alkaline. Right now, I saw at the grocery store they were selling the Energizer brand lithium AA batteries. I think there are 8 of them for $20 for an 8-pack. But the good thing about the lithium batteries is they last, I think, about 10 to 15 years. So if I buy that, throw them in here, I know for at least 15 years I've got a good, good set of batteries. Also, I'd eventually like to get an alternate source of power, probably in the form of some solar power panels. Some solar panels so I can recharge my two-way radios and cell phone, maybe my laptop, other things like that. I'll have at least a renewable source of energy in case I have to go a prolonged period of time without electricity. So solar panels and lithium batteries are high on my list as far as additions to this kit. So I'm always modernizing, and I'm always cycling through my perishables, batteries, canned food. I'm always cycling through to make sure that I've got up-to-date and fresh stuff. Okay, so that's the house kit. Hope I covered everything sufficiently.